Yeah, so I haven't done a video in a while and kind of got a reminder of some things that I wanted to talk about on Danny's Low Value Mail show the other day. Actually, that was today. You can see where I am in my state of mind with a few beers in me, which will, I guess, be relevant. I was listening to Rube's call in. I've been there, man. It's just a little bit of a manic time in your life, man. Just either get like really drunk and really fucked up and just keep doing it until you get sick of it, and then you'll move on past your problems, and then you'll figure things out. But I was supposed to go and hang out with Rube Star, and it's like 5.5 hours away from me. But he told me when I was texting him today, I said, hey man, I might have gotten myself a job up here, which is what I was waiting for. And so I might be able to have some time to go and, hang out. And he tells me, well, it might be a bad time uh, because there's an eclipse over Iceland. And I asked him, I said, I mean, it makes sense when you're talking to Rube, and I mean that's a valid answer when you're talking to him. But for me, I just kind of wanted to understand maybe a little bit more of why that would be a problem for me. And apparently that meant that it's not good to travel. And then he called into to Danny's show and said that he was afraid that his girlfriend wanted to be murdered, which I can understand. I mean, I've seen those videos about the guy that there's those forums where the people want to get like eaten or murdered, and that's a valid desire in life. If you've gotten everything else done and you're ready to just check out. I was in a bad spot a couple hours ago, days ago, maybe a week ago, and I was my wife went up to work or went up to Pennsylvania, and I was still working, and I hadn't seen my wife for a while, and so I just kind of quit my job. I just got in there on a Monday, and I stood there for an hour because they didn't have enough work for me. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I just walked into my boss's office and I said, "Hey, uh, I think I'm gonna find new employment." And I don't know like what you need from me. And he's like, "Is that like immediately?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just kind of done working." So he's like, "All right, I guess sign this paper." And so I just quit my job, and then um, I kind of sat around being a bum and lazy, which is fun for a while. I'm really good at it, um, but it gets really boring. So then I started drinking again. And then when I was drinking again, I started smoking cigars. And then when I would smoke a cigar, I would go and eat sushi. And I would eat my sushi at the bar and smoke a cigar. And then start getting maybe a little bit mouthy and kind of like possibly interjecting in people's conversations. And it kind of reminded me of like what I like to do is especially if I'm drunk, is I like to be a problem. And I feel like more people need to start doing that because they've like everybody's so like gung ho for their Second Amendment rights. But like as we've seen during COVID, I was talking to my wife, like with COVID, like nobody did anything. They were arresting you for being on the beach. Like that should be, I mean, try arresting me for being on the beach. That would be such an issue. Like I would make national news for my reaction. And I do like overreact, but like I mean that's the whole point of having your Second Amendment rights is like they were taking away your kids, they were taking away your job for not wearing a mask or injecting yourself with some who knows what. Nobody even knows what that was. Not even the people that made it. It was probably just some cauldron shit. Like they made just a big cauldron, like in that Hercules animated movie where you got the three witches and they're just dumping shit in there, and they just that's kind of like they're working with Satan, and they end up pulling something out and injecting you. And so like everybody's, losing their jobs, losing their rights, and not one shot was fired except if you wanted to go, you can go outside and burn places down. If you were upset that some junkie piece of shit got his neck stepped on and then died in the car of a overdose of being on every single drug in the world. But nobody really brought out any guns to do anything, except for that Kyle Rittenhouse kid, who he ended up being a bitch for that once he got himself like a sponsorship with that rifle Black Rifle coffee brand. But like you got to be a problem. You got to go and be a problem for like society. And so like one of my things that I love doing, like my wife laughs at me sometimes. She finds it funny that like I do things to piss people off or just like have like little tiny like minute like bits of power over people. Like one of the things I really like to do is when I'm driving, and you can start doing this too, is that if you're driving and then like there's a bunch of people turning, or like you're on like a two-way road where there's like one lane going each direction and like the person can't turn around, is you just give that person the finger. Like give that first person in line the finger, or anybody like turning or is stuck in traffic, just give them the finger, and it'll make you feel better. You'll laugh, and they'll have no idea why you did it. And it just kind of like it introduces a little chaos into the world. And I kind of learned that mindset from watching the Upright Citizens Brigade. I can't find the episode, and maybe it never even existed. But there was like a one that I swear I watched it. My friend told me about it to watch it, where like there was this guy that like his job was to go and pick up the trash on the side of the highway, but this highway was like fake, and they just made the highway that didn't go anywhere, and it just had trash on it, and they would just dump trash on it every day and pick it up. And then one day they just kind of like let him in on it that he was just picking it up for nothing, and like they just did it to cause chaos. Or like the ass pennies thing. Like you can have something over people. Like you stick pennies up your ass for years and years, and you just keep getting pennies, and you just stick them up your ass, and eventually the people that you don't like, they're going to end up in those people's hand. You could do it with other things too. But I don't know how you're gonna do it when they like. That's probably why they're creating like the CBDC is so that you can't do that shit anymore. Because they probably caught on to people and they were upset that you were like transferring fecal matter. But like, I go on Twitter and I just respond, even if it's a bot, I'll just respond to it if it annoys me, and I become a problem for that bot, whoever's controlling it, because I just waste data. I just waste all the free data that's like being used to fight with me and respond. You know, you can get in arguments. You can get an argument with Grok, and you can just slow the system down. And like, this person found me on Twitter, and they some lady that's like super like pro Jew, pro Israel, and all that stuff. And like, I just happened to find out about her because somebody was like responding to her with my name tagged on there. And apparently she had just been gaining people, like gathering them to go and get me like banned on uh banned on Twitter. I had no idea that this person was even working against me until this person tagged me that was following her. And and then so I found like all these replies to her of like, yeah, we're gonna get him. I can't believe this anti-Semitism and stuff like that. And had she not ever done that and had this person not tagged me, I would have never done these things. But then I started becoming a problem because she blocked me and she thought she was going to get a last word on me. And I don't like when people get the last word on me. Like, that's just a pet peeve of mine. So I went on with another account and then I said something maybe anti-Semitic, even though they're not Semitic. And then I blocked her so she couldn't block me first. So that really pissed her off. And then she got more people and started complaining about me, calling me a neo-Nazi. And I was like, listen, well, I don't understand why you're calling me a Nazi or a Hitler fan. Like, why would you think I like this guy if he couldn't finish the job? I consider him a failure. And then she blocked me and on my other accounts. And then I would start messaging her fans and her followers. And then I would block them. And then they would all work together and just complain about me. And this woman has there would be like 30 people working to go and try to get my accounts blocked. And I'm just shit posting like maybe like once every 4 hours, once every couple of hours, maybe once a day. And I'll just tag her name in it and I'll just post something that someone else posted, and I walk a thin line. Sometimes she'll get me. One time I got her because she posted something I said that got me banned from her. So it got her banned, which is she really got her pissed off. And I remember seeing that on her Twitter page. And I would post who it is, but then I know you assholes would ruin it for me and try to take away my fun. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you that luxury. But, every day, at least once, I just try to remind myself to message her or check in on her posts. And I go and I look at what she's doing, and I'll write something, and I'll tag her with some kind of infographic that isn't quite kosher. And I know because nobody follows me on my accounts. I have 0 followers on like some of these accounts. And then that's how I know that she sees it, because there'll be like a couple of views on it, and I know she's just sitting there seething. And that kind of like does it for me for that day. Like if I feel bummed, I'll just post something to her and I know that it gets a view and she gets upset. And it really, when I see that one or two views with 0 followers, it really, really brightens up my day. And I know she's just sitting there angry, complaining like Kyle's mom about the anti-Semitism. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do for the whole of society. Your whole mindset has to be a problem for people. Like if you see somebody that has like a stick up their ass and they're trying to be like authoritative in any manner, just say something shitty to them just in passing. If you see a cop and he's writing a ticket, he can't do anything to you. Just just say something shitty to him. Just make him feel bad. And what is he going to do? Be like, "Oh, I'm going to cite you for disorderly conduct." Okay. You know, somebody if somebody's just being shitty in public, just just give them a look. Just do whatever you can to annoy anybody that's being a problem in your life. Just be a problem back. Like if you're disrupting what could have been a good society, just target that person. Just target that person really in the most mundane way. And maybe that sounds kind of, pot calling the kettle black, but there's plenty of people out there that just like my wife was telling me, she was reminding me because we saw Spirit Halloween um store today, and she reminded me of the time that we went into Spirit Halloween and I didn't wear my mask, and the black manager lady came out and told me I needed to be wearing a mask, and I said, "No, I don't think I will." And it escalated, and I got her to the point where she was calling the police. I mean, this lady was ready to call the brown shirts on me over not wearing a mask because I was trying to find, some kind of costume for me or my wife or my kids, and she wouldn't serve me. She had that little bit of power, and I just refused. Or just, get to a point where you have a good enough skill where you can go anywhere to work. And if at the slightest inconvenience, this is really what I do, is at the slightest inconvenience, is I just tell them, no, I'm not working here anymore. I'm just done. It's especially good. It would really be good if you're a young kid. Yeah, if you're a really young kid or you're an adult in Arrested Development and you're working at one of these pizza places or like a Walmart or yeah, like if you're working at like some giant corporation, what are they going to do? You're, especially if you're like 17, 20 years old. Oh, you're not going to put that on your resume? What's that big gap in your employment history? Who gives a shit? Just quit. Do it on the day that they need you the most. And start planting the seeds in other people too. If you work for like a major corporation and just start just sowing little seeds of doubt or or havoc. I remember when I used to work at Lowe's on my last day, I I had a bunch of pieces of paper And I wrote on the little pieces of paper, I wrote like fuck you or penis or just like a bunch of curse words. And then I put them behind items on the wall or attached them. Like I would sticky note them to things. So that and eventually, in weeks, days, or months, when somebody finally gets to that item and they pull it up, and even if it's somebody that's working at the store and they just see "fuck you" and they have no idea who did it, well, they probably have a good idea who did it because let's be honest. I mean, when you work with me, you kind of see that that's going to happen, or that would probably be a possibility. But yeah, you just got to be a problem for people. Like like I said, like if you can give people the finger when they're coming the opposite direction of you, or if somebody's shitty, like giving you shitty service. Like when I would go to Starbucks and there would be all these like yuppies in there in Starbucks, and they'd be waiting for their weird little like juices and their creamed coffees and all that stuff. And I would go in there with my wife. My wife already knows the deal, but like I would just pace around and just really menacingly pace around and just enough to be really uncomfortable and like just make people unsettled that are trying so hard to go and be seen while they're working or reading a book. Like, cause that's the only, like, why would you be at Starbucks or any one of these coffee places and just go and just be reading some stupid book? You want to be seen. You want to be seen that you're tip tapping away on your keyboard, that you're doing something. Come on. That's so transparent. I mean that's so fucking corny. And you should make those people uncomfortable because those are the exact same people that love wearing the mask. They love getting the injections. They love to snitch on you. Like they really hate you and you should be a problem for them, you know. Fortunately, they'll probably abort their own kids, which is sad, That is very sad to think about. But at least, if they don't end up removing their testicles to get a free hot dog or donut like they were incentivizing for a while, like that would have been, God, I can't believe people were doing that. You understand this world? Like this is why you should be shitty to these people. They're so dumb. Like I was listening today to Low Value with Danny, and heroin addict Chris calls in, and he understands everything about like the whole conspiracy shit where we're being controlled by people that are in a blood cult dedicated to Satan that have been operating for at least over 3,000 years, and he's on heroin and somehow even he gets it, but the boomers don't. Like the boomers are just such an impedance to your life. You should be doing everything you can to be the snot-nosed brat punk that they call you. Like if you can hold them up in traffic or hold them up, if you're in the grocery store, this is one of my favorite things because boomers will leave their goddamn grocery cart in the middle of the fucking aisle and then like just stand there 10 feet away from it. And they love it because they want the attention, they want the conflict. Become a problem. Move their cart far away. Just take the cart. What are they going to do? It's not theirs, it's not their groceries. And just move it, take it away. Or Sometimes if I know like an old man, like some shitty old man is like trying to get to something and I'm standing at like the cold deli and like he's trying to get to stuff, I just pretend like I'm retarded and I just don't move. Like if he's really trying to get something that's right behind me. And you know when somebody's like trying to be trying to get around you or trying to look for something and just make their shitty fucking life shittier because they stole from you. You're never getting that social security money. They fucked you with inflation. They fucked you with all this goddamn boomer voting. It's always, you know, the Fox News crowd or the MSNBC crowd. They all wanted the same shit. My wife was telling me about my stepmom posted some thing on Facebook today about the three the three like government systems of socialism, communism, and fascism. And obviously, like she's a big proponent of socialism, like AOC and the Clintons and bad man Trump. And it's like all this retard literally during Halloween put out tombstones as decorations with all of the different government agencies that were canceled during USAID, the USA aid whatever thing from Doge. Did you really accomplish anything aside from the rest of your neighborhood just knowing that they hate you? Like this dumb bitch blamed me for when their dog got out the third time and attacked another dog for the third time because they asked me to move a table into the house and they were all pissed off about me letting the dog out from the front door, and then it went straight for the neck of some person's dog poodle that was walking down the street, and they were so mad that it was going to get um put down and the cops were going to come at any moment. And they some last time they didn't show up for a couple of weeks. Well, they also live next to a canal, and apparently the uh the dog fell in the canal while they were gone and it drowned. And well, I guess you didn't have to worry about the cops putting it down, huh? You know, these boomers are so irresponsible. They will love their stupid little dogs that they have like no control of. They don't make an effort to have any control of. They did have a lot of effort to go and put a lot of control over you and make you feel like shit when they were your parents and you were a little kid. And, giving you all this shit about playing video games, being on computers, or wanting to get involved in Bitcoin. And everything they say is wrong. Every single stupid piece of information that these people have to share is always wrong. Just remember that. And so that's why you have to be a problem for them, because they're doing it to you and you don't have any power, but you can be just a little problem. You can stand in their way. You can, you know, if you're at a turn and you see it's an old boomer, like piece of shit that looks like they're getting like infuriated that you're not turning, just don't move. Just kind of just stare off into space. What are they going to do? Shoot you? I mean, maybe, but these people like they've ruined your life. The least you could do for them is just become a problem. You know, they they're the same people that, you go and leave the dog outside and just let it bark and they just let it bark, and these stupid little dogs that they all love just bark and bark and bark. And if you yell at the dog and tell it to shut up, they'll yell at you, and then they'll tell you, it's a dog. That's what it does. It's a dog. They bark. Just leave them alone. Or you're sitting in traffic. This just happened to me recently. And, you got 10 cars of space in front of you, and your father is not going anywhere. And you say, hey, you got people waiting on you. And they throw a hissy fit. Well, do the same shit to them. Do that shit to them and make sure that like they're inconvenienced in the most simple of ways, because these people are just sitting. You think that your life is gonna get better when you inherit these properties from these boomers? Let me tell you that like all the boomers are gonna croak about the same time, especially since they got this. It's probably some in the injection that they all love to get. It's probably some time release capsule, and they're just all gonna croak in a small time span, and so it's gonna flood the market with the house that you've been waiting to inherit, and then everybody else is gonna be trying to get rid of that shit, and so that house that they bought for $69 and now is $13.6 million. Now it's going to crash down to nothing, but you still have inflation to deal with, and then you got to pay the property taxes. You're going to get fucked. All of you guys are going to get fucked. So just ruin their day. That's all you got to do. It doesn't matter if they're boomers or just any age. Just piss them off. And I guess that's pretty much my rant. So hopefully I go and connect with Rube, and he doesn't end himself or whatever. Or I don't get killed visiting him. I do bring out the best in people, I think, when I talk to them. I'm good at. I'm like, I should be a hostage negotiator. Actually, I know that this rant probably goes against what most people would probably say qualifies you for that. But I think I would be a good hostage negotiator. And I just bring them down from the ledge. So a lot of times, sometimes when somebody's having like a bad day and they somebody's like complaining about how awful things are, or they're not good at anything, like you got to just tell them, yeah, you're right. You're not good at anything. Because they've been getting the same like reaction from everybody. So like you just got to get them to shit or get off the pot, and they'll change, and then um then they won't be your problem. Don't let them hold you hostage. That's what I tell my wife is like, if I'm trapped in a conversation with somebody, I don't negotiate with terrorists, is what I call it. I don't negotiate with terrorists. I refuse to be held hostage, and I just walk away. And my wife thinks it's kind of funny that I'll just do that. If somebody's just bothering me or just taking up my time, I'll just walk away, and I won't let them continue holding me hostage like I did just now for you. So yep, hopefully I'll meet with Rube Star. I know Goob was talking about he's not too far away, so maybe I'll do some tour before I go back to Florida. And well, if you learned anything, hopefully it's that you got to become a problem for people. So, all right. Wow, that was 30 minutes. That felt like a lot longer.